Algebra 2, Lesson 2-1. Predict what the graph of each given function will look like. Verify your prediction using a graphing calculator, then sketch the graph of the function. We'll get a little real estate here. The form of the equation is g of x equals a times the absolute value of 1 over b times x minus h plus k. A would be a vertical stretch or compression. If A is negative, that would be reflect across the x-axis. B would be a horizontal stretch or compression. And if B is negative, that would reflect across the y-axis. H is a horizontal transformation left to right. And K be a vertical transformation up or down. You might want to put these in your notes or on a 3x5 card so you can refer back to it, because it helps till you get it down. Next, let's look at number 1 here. All right, if you'll notice, you have the 5 in the A position. So we'll say A equals 5. And that's going to be a vertical stretch by a factor of 5. And if you'll also notice, you have H equals 3, and this will be a horizontal transformation to the right units. So let's see here. The original graph would be f of x. F of x equals the absolute value of x. That's the parent one, and you would find it right here. It's not black. that would be right here. Now the new graph that we got right here, this one right here, right here. So what do we got? We're going to go to the right 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we've got some point. We had some point right here, and this was 6, 6, right? 6, 6. We're going to multiply. That's going to give you way off the charts there. Let's see here. You have, let me add something else to your notes. You have HK, that is your vertex or your center point. Okay, that's this point right here, the vertex. You also have B times X minus H, and then A times K, or excuse me, A times Y plus K. Okay, and that'll move it as well. Well, let's just pick a point here. Let's like 2. Put 2. 2 minus 3 is -1. The absolute value of -1 is 1, and multiply that by 5, and that gives you 2, 5. And we can go over here, and we can put -1. Oh, put -1 in there. Well, let's see. Yeah. 2. Well, we did that, right? Okay, and let's see, we put 2 in there. Let's put 4 in there. 4 minus 3 is 1. The absolute value of 1 is 1. 1 times 5 is 5. So you're going to have this point right here. So your new graph is going to be right here. And notice how I just picked a point on each side of the vertex right there. Let me get the old calculator up here. Show you how to do it in the Inspire. And we'll use these Inspires in class a lot. We got 5 times, and this little 3 dots here next to the 9, we'll click on that. Absolute value is right there. Click on it, shows up there, good. We got X minus 3, press enter, and voila, there it is. Number 1. Number 2, we got several things going on here. Actually, we got quite a bit going on. Use a different color. You got A equals -4. This is going to be a vertical stretch. By a factor of 4. And reflect over the x-axis. you've got h, you got plus 2 there. Remember, it's supposed to be x minus h. Okay, if that equals x plus 2, we'll subtract x from both sides. Minus x, and we got negative h equals 2. Divide both sides by negative 1, you got h equals negative 2. So h equals negative 2. And this will be a horizontal transformation. Left 2 units. And then we have plus 5 out here. Plus 5 out here. So that's going to be k equals 5, which will be a vertical transformation. Of 5 units. Remember I told you that h and k was the vertex, so we got h is 2, so we're going to put that there, and then k is 5. So that gives us our vertex. 1, 2, 5 is going to be right there. Now we got negative, so we know it's going to go down, right? Well, let's pick a couple points. We can pick 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 plus 5 gives you negative 7. Whoa. I got negative 2, 5. So negative 2, 5 is right there. Let's pick negative 1. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. Absolute value of 1 is 1. Times negative 4 would be, well, negative 4. Plus 5 gives you 1. So we've got a point here. We can pick another point. Let's try negative 3. Negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1. 1 times negative 4 is negative 4 plus 5 gives you 1. And now we have our graph. Looks like this. And we'll put some arrows on it. Go to our calculator. This is really the easy way to do it. We're going to go on, new document, no, and graphs. We've got negative 4 times the absolute value of x plus 2. Go outside the thing, plus 5. And there's our graph. Got a little happy on that, didn't we? Got a little happy again. 3. There's some lag. I'm gonna have to kill this calculator, turn this calculator off so the computer keep up with it. All right, number 3. What do we do first? Let's see what different points we have, what our different transformations are going to be, or what's being done to it. Well, we have 1 over b equals 7/5. Okay, so let's multiply both sides by b, and we got 1 equals 7/5 b. Well, we're going to multiply both sides by 5/7, and we get 5/7 equals B. So what is that going to do? What is that going to do? Well, since it's less than 1, that's going to be a horizontal compression by a factor of 5/7. We have an H that equals 6, and that's going to be a horizontal transformation right 6 units. This looks more like a B than a 6. And then K equals 4. And that's going to be a vertical transformation up up 4 units. So now that we know all that, let's see here. Our H is 6, so let's find 6, and then 4, that's going to be right there. 6, 4 is right there. The easy way to do it is just to pick a couple points, and I've done this, and I'm gonna do it again. Since we found our vertex, let's just pick some points on either side. Let's see, this is, we'll use 8. Well, 6. Well, we'll use 7. So G of 7 equals the absolute value of 7/5 times 7 minus 6 plus 4. Well, 7 minus 6 is what? 1. The absolute value of 7/5 times 1 is 7/5. So we have the absolute value of 7/5 plus 4. Well, the absolute value of 7/5 is just 7/5. And let's see, 4, that's like 20/5, right? 20/5. So we get equals 27/5. So that's going to be 5. Let's see, it's or 5 2/5. So what do we got? We got, well, let's see, 5 2/5 is going to be right in here somewhere. We picked 6. What did we pick? 7. So 7 is right here, and 5 and that's 6. 5 2/5 is going to be about right there. And now let's pick G of, well, let's see, 4. Well, let's see, we're at 6 there, so let's pick 5. That'd be nice and easy. Absolute value of 7/5, and then 5 minus 6 plus 4. Notice what I did. That's -1, so that gives us the absolute value of -7/5 plus 4. Well, that's just 7/5, and then 7/5 equals 7/5 plus 4. Again, 4 is 20/5, so that's going to be 27/5, and we already found out to be 5 2/5. So if we find 5, and then 5 2/5 is going to be about right there, and now we have our graph. And put some arrows on it. And there we go. Try number 4. That one's a little bit harder because we got a B in there, right? B's are always a little harder. Step 1. Let's see what's being done to it. We don't have an A, so that's really just A equals 1. We have 1 over B equals 3/7. So let's solve for B. Add, multiply both sides by B, and you got 3/7 B. Multiply both sides by 7/3, and you got 7/3 equals B. If you've not noticed, it's always the reciprocal of what's in front of there. So B is 7/3, which is more than 1. So we're going to have a horizontal stretch by a factor of 7/3. We have an h of 4, so h equals 4. That's going to be a horizontal transformation. By a factor of 4, and we have k equals 2, which is a vertical transformation. Up 2 units. So that gives us our vertex. Our vertex is 4, 2. Let's find out. 4 and then 2 would be right there. A is positive, so it's going to be going up. And again, it's just easy to pick a couple points. 4, let's just put 6 in there. So G of 6 equals the absolute value of 3/7. And then we're going to have 6 minus 4 plus 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. And 2 times 3/7 is, well, 6/7. We got the absolute value of 6/7 plus 2, 6/7. It's going to be 6/7 plus, and we can say 2 is like 14/7, right? 14/7. So 6 plus that's 20, that's going to equal 20/7, which is almost 3. That's 2 and 6/7. All right, so find 6, and then 2 and 6/7, maybe like right there. And then let's go over here, and we're going to put in 2 this time. So G of 2 equals 3/7, and that's 2 minus 4 plus 2. That's going to give us 2, that's -2, and that's going to give us -6/7 plus 2, and that's going to make that 6/7 plus 2. Well, 2 we already know is 14/7. And again, we got 20/7. So we're looking about right like that, and draw our line. And there we go. Easy peasy. Number 5. G of x equals 7/4 times the absolute value of x minus 2 minus 3. 7/4, that's A. A equals 7/4. H equals 2, and K equals -3. So let's find 2, -3. 1, 2, 3. That's our vertex. We have a 7/4. That is going to be a vertical stretch by a factor of 7/4. H is a horizontal transformation 2 units to the right, and K is a vertical transformation down 3 units. And let's just pick us some points. G of 4 equals 7/4 times, that's going to be 4 minus 2 minus 3. Well, 4 minus 2 is 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2. So we're going to have 7/4 times 2. Well, that becomes 1, that becomes 2. So we have 7/2 minus 3. Well, 3 can be known as 6/2. And 7/2 minus 6/2 is 1/2. So let's find 4, and 1/2 ought to be about right there. Okay. And now we'll do, well, let's see, we did 6, let's do 0. G of 0 equals 7/4 times half. 0 minus 2 minus 3. Well, that 0 minus 2 is -2. And the absolute value of -2 is 2. And then 2 times 7/4 is 7/2 minus 3. And 3 is also known as 6/2. And again, that gives us 1/2. So 0 and 1/2. And there's our graph. All right, graph the given function and identify the domain and the range. So number 6 is just the parent graph, and that looks something like this right here. And the domain is all real numbers. The range, and if you look, the range is all above 0. So we're going to say y is greater than or equal to 0. The range starts here and goes up. Let's try this one here. All right, we got 5. Let's see, 4, 5, and then 7 is, we're going to say maybe right there. Okay, and 4/3. Just pick you some points and work them out. But it's going to look about like this right here. It looks like that. And the domain is again going to be all real numbers. The range is going to be y, and then notice that like here, this was like +0. There was, and then here you got +7, so that's going to be greater than or equal to 7. And I know it's greater than or equal to because a over here is positive. And let's try this one here. Okay, my h is 2, my k is 0, so I'm right here. And it goes down, -7/6. So it's going to look about like this. And you can pick you some points like we did earlier and discover them. Domain, all real numbers. Noticing the trend here, all real numbers, all real numbers, all real numbers. Range is going to be y. Now, since a is negative here, it's going to be less than or equal to. And then, since k here is 0, it's going to be 0. Number 9, what do we got? Well, we got 2, -7 is going to be right there. 2 and -7. And then, oh, this is 3/4. So that's a little bit different. But basically, again, like we've done before, pick a couple numbers on either side and solve for it. But it ought to look about like this right here. It ought to look just about that right there. Okay, domain is all real numbers. The range, A is positive, so it's going to be Y is greater than or equal to, and then -7. Because K is -7. And let's try this one. We got 4 and 0. Okay, A is positive, so it's going to go up. And it's going to look about like this right here. Should look just like that right there. Pick your couple points. Over here, a point over there. And let's see, domain. It's going to be all real numbers. And the range, well, A is positive and K is 0, so it's going to be Y is greater than or equal to 0. Since A is positive, it's going to be greater than or equal to, and since K is 0, it's going to be 0. What about down here? We've got -5 and -4. That's going to be about right there. Pick a couple points. Should look about like that right there. And let's see here. Domain. All real numbers. Range. Range is going to be Y. A is positive, so it's going to be greater than or equal to, and K is -4, so that's going to make that -4. Okay. Now it's a party. It says write the absolute value function in standard form for the given graph. The absolute value function in standard form for the use A or B as directed. B is greater than 0. Okay, I'm looking, let's see, that's -4 and -6. So I'm going to pick this point right here, and that is -7, 4. -7, 4. And that tells me a whole lot. Because remember, the equation is g of x equals a times the absolute value of 1 over b, and then x minus h plus k. Well, h in this case is -7. So we got minus, and then we'll put the -7 in there. And K is 2 or 4, so we'll put the 4 in there. It gave us that A is 1, so we'll just put a 1 in there. So what are we really solving for? We're just solving for B. Well, how can we do that? Well, let's pick a point. I see, look at this, you got this point here, right? We got this point here, and that appears to be -6, 6, okay? So I'm going to put this 6 in here for g of x equals the absolute value 1 over b, and then I've got -6 in for the x, -6, and that's minus, so I'm going to say +7, and then +4. All right, So 6 equals the absolute value of 1. Well, we still got 1 over b. Negative 6 plus 7 is 1, so that just becomes 1. And 1 times 1 over b is just b. So we got the absolute value of b plus 4. So let's subtract 4 from both sides. And we got 2 equals the absolute value of 1 over b. Well, the absolute value of 1 over b is 2. So we got 2 equals 1 over b. Now we got to solve for b. Multiply both sides by b. And you got 2b equals 1. Divide both sides by 2. And you got b equals 1/2. All right. And really the equation was 1 over b. So here is your equation now. G of x equals absolute value of 2, because that's 1 over b, right, times x minus negative 7 or plus 7 plus 4. Okay? And you can put that in your calculator and graph it, and it'll show you that that is, in fact, the equation. Well, let's try number 13. You got this point here. This is 4, 3. Okay? 4, 3. So we've got g of x equals a times 1 over b, and that's x minus h plus k. H is 4, so I'm going to put a 4 in there. K is 3, so I'll put a 3 in there. And it says B is 1, so let's put a B in there. Put a 1 in there. Well, 1 over 1 is just 1, so you can just let that go. And now you just got the absolute value of x minus. Okay, pick a point. You know, this one right here looks pretty good. This is 0, this is 0, 2. So I'm going to put that in there. 2 equals a times the absolute value of 0 minus 4 plus 3. Well, 0 minus 4 is just negative 4. Negative 4. Well, the absolute value of negative 4 is 4, so I got 2 equals 4a plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides, I got negative 1 equals 4a. Divide both sides by 4, and I got negative 1/4 equals a. So my equation is going to be g of x equals negative 1/4 times, and we're going to have x minus 4 plus 3. Put that in your calculator and check it. It works. It works. All right, folks. Where might we use something like this? All right, let's see here. Let's do a word problem. Let's do a word problem. A rainstorm begins to drizzle, builds up a heavy rain, and then drops back to a drizzle. The rate r in inches per hour at which the rain is given by the function r equals negative 0.5, the absolute value of t minus 1, plus 0.5, where t is the time in hours. Graph the function. Well, the vertex is going to be 1, 0.5. All right, so let's go 1, and then 0.5 ought to be about right there. Okay? Now, I'm going to pick this point 0, 0. Okay? Well, let's just pick 0. So you've got r equals times 0, 0.5, and then 0 minus 1 plus 0.5. Okay, 0 minus 1 is just negative 1. The absolute value of negative 1 is 1. So that's going to give us negative 0.5 plus 0.5, which just equals 0. So we have a point here at 0. Okay? Now, I'm going to put 2 in there. 2 minus 1. And that's this right here. Well, 2 minus 1 is 1. The absolute value of 1 is 1. 1 times negative 0.5 is negative 0.5 plus 0.5. And again, that equals 0. So here is my graph. And it looks kind of like this right here. And there you have it. You have modeled a rainstorm. Now, in all actuality, I know the graphs is up, but this right here don't count, and well, yeah, I guess that does count. Got a little ahead of myself. That does count. Well, really, once it can't go below 0 in real time. So no, that doesn't. No. And there you go. There's your rain. This is the time that it rained, and T was in rain per hour. So it looks like it rained for about 2 hours, and it was over in 2 hours, and the most it ever got up to was 0.5 inches an hour. Okay. Can't have negative rainfall, so we erased all of that. There you go. Folks, good job. I will see you in class tomorrow. Enjoy your evening.